ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹਾਂ ਪੀਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦੇ ਕਮਿਊਨੀਕੇਟਰ ਸੈਂਟਰਸ ਜਿਹੜਾ 911 ਕਮਿਊਨੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਪੀਲ ਰੀਜਨਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਸੈਲੀਬ੍ਰੇਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਕਮਿਊਨੀਕੇਟਰਸ ਵੀਕ। ਫਸਟ ਰਿਸਪੌਂਡਰਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਆਪਰੇਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੈ। ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਕਾਲਸ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ 911 ਦੀਆਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਫਰ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ। ਪੀਲ ਰੀਜਨਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੀ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਫੋਰਸ ਬਣ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਵੀਂ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਨਿਊ ਜਨਰੇਸ਼ਨ 911 NG911। ਆਹ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੂਗੀ, ਕਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੇਟਸ ਟਾਈਮਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਡਿਊਸ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ। ਔਰ ਪੀਲ ਰੀਜਨਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦੇ ਚੀਫ ਨਿਸ਼ ਦੁਰੇਪਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਾਲ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੈ ਬਹੁਤ ਘੱਟ ਗਿਆ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਵੀਂ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਾਲ ਡਾਇਵਰਟ ਕਰੇਗੀ। ਸੋ ਮੈਨ ਪਾਵਰ ਦੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਕਾਲ ਡਾਇਵਰਟ ਕਰੇਗੀ। ਕਿਹੜੇ ਕਮਿਊਨੀਕੇਟਰ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ, ਵਨ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਬੈਸਟ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ। ਔਰ ਫਿਊਚਰ 'ਚ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਕਾਲਸ ਔਰ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਵੀ ਲਾਈਵ ਆਪਰੇਟਰ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਕਰ ਸਕਣ ਅਗਰ ਹੋਰ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਐਡ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ। ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਪਿਕਚਰਸ ਜਾਂ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਪੀਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟ ਭੇਜ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਸਾਈਟ ਤੋਂ। ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਪੀਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦੇ ਚੀਫ ਨਿਸ਼ ਨਾਲ ਔਰ ਬਾਕੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਮਿਊਨੀਕੇਟਰਸ ਟੀਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਵੀਂ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਨਿਊ ਜਨਰੇਸ਼ਨ 911 ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰੇਗੀ ਕਾਲ ਟਾਈਮ ਰਿਡਿਊਸ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ। ਐਂਡ ਕੰਗ੍ਰੈਚੁਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਟੂ ਪੀਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਫॉर ਇੰਟਰੋਡਿਊਸਿੰਗ ਫਰਸਟ एवर in Canada this new technology NG911। आओ देखते हैं इत्थे सारी रिपोर्ट। Chief, first of all, welcome for the Public National Safety Communicators Week and best of luck to all these hard-working communicators.
Thank you so much for being here and showcasing their amazing work.
Chief, this is first time in North America that Peel Region Police has implemented this new technology which is NG911.
That's correct. We're the first police service in Canada to transition to NG911, which is an amazing solution to a lot of the problems we've been having here in Peel. You know firsthand, we've talked about it before.
Yeah. So what is the change in 911, this new technology, how this will help the communicators and staff here?
So some of the biggest pressures we have is the number of people who call 911. And sometimes they don't call the emergency number, they call the non-emergency, or they're calling the wrong number. What happens is we have too many people waiting to speak to us, which is a delay. The second piece is we have misuse, people calling for the wrong reasons, which is a big concern for us. So the technology allows us to create some improvements in both those spaces. So for example, if people call by accident or the misuse and hang up, there's now an automated way to call them back and to ask them if they really need help. Before we had one of the call takers calling everybody. Do you know, and then that was 1,500 calls a month.
Yeah.
Somebody had to call back. Now a machine does that, and it saves us so much time. The other side is that when you do call 911, we now have the ability to separate calls. So sometimes there are 10 people calling about one accident. We can understand the top 3 or 4 911 calls are coming for this one accident. We know that the other 5 are going to be the same, so we can prioritize. And that way everybody gets to it. So the wait times, 1 year ago, people had to wait an average of 87 seconds on 911 on hold, which is wrong. You and we both agree we don't want that. Now technology plus the education, public education, and we're thankful for you to helping with the education, we've reduced it to 11 seconds.
Wow.
It's a tremendous change, right?
Yes.
And we are thankful because we've received some grants from the province of Ontario to help us, and it's made big changes.
Chief, since you are working, you are a technology guy, and from day one we were hearing that Chief Nish is there and he can bring that technology in our system. So why can't we introduce the video system also, like from the incidents, crime incidents, or from the incidents of the accident? When these communicators, they watch, they hear, so why can't they see the video thing? Can that also be included in the future?
Yes, you're absolutely right. And the amazing thing about this new technology is it now will allow us to receive digital video, digital still photos. Somebody can take a picture of the suspect.
Live from the incident?
The live stream is one that we'll have to work through. Okay. It takes a lot of more capacity for these individuals to receive and process. But yes, this new platform is actually going to allow us to eventually do this. So we have milestones that will lead right into March of 2025. And we'll be introducing different pieces like that. And eventually that is the way people will be able to, to give information. Can you imagine our ability to see an individual, what they're clothing, they're wearing, the suspects live to 911? It'll happen.
Thank you, Chief, and wish you all the best and all the best to the communicators too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
देखिए, आज पहली बार तो हमने कॉल सेंटर पहली बार ओपन करा है कि हमने मीडिया को इनवाइट करा बिकॉज NG911 टेक्नोलॉजी अब डिप्लॉय हो चुकी है. व्हाट डज NG911 मीन? कपल ऑफ सिंपल थिंग्स मैं एग्जांपल देती हूँ. व्हाट दिस टेक्नोलॉजी डज इज इट मेक्स इट मच ईजियर एंड एफिशिएंट फॉर अस टू बी एबल टू आपको रिस्पॉन्ड करने के लिए. तो पहले क्या होता था, जब कॉल आती थी तो सारी कॉल वेटिंग का नंबर क्यों इतना हाई था? बिकॉज एक पर्सन ने कॉल लेनी थी और आफ्टर दैट वो ट्रियाज होती है, मतलब जिधर जाना होता है कॉल को उधर जाती है, जैसे अगर फायर हो या कुछ और हो. बट नाउ टेक्नोलॉजी अलाउ कर रहा है. सो दिस मीन्स बिफोर एक बंदे के पास पहुंचे, इट एक्चुअली हेल्प्स कि एक जिसका अगर फायर की कॉल है वो फायर की तरफ जा रही है, अगर पुलिस की कॉल है पुलिस की तरफ आ रही है. कॉल वेटिंग्स के नंबर्स पहले होते थे 87 सेकेंड, अब 11 सेकेंड तक हो चुके हैं. द अदर बिग थिंग एंड आई वुड से इज प्रॉब्ली वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स, आपने बहुत देखा होगा कि हमारे पास कॉल ड्रॉप्स के बहुत कॉल्स आ रही थी कि जैसे होता है गलती से आपके बच्चे ने या आप किसी ने 911 को फ़ोन कर दिया और फिर फ़ोन बंद कर दिया. यहाँ क्या होता था, इवन अपने फ़ोन बंद करा हो या नहीं करा हो, इनका जॉब था कि एक बंदा अब लाइन से उतरता था, दे वुड टेक, और उनको फ़ोन बैक करना था कि कंफर्म करने के लिए इमरजेंसी है या नहीं है. अब अच्छी चीज़ ये हो गई है कि टेक्नोलॉजी ये कर रही है. दैट मीन्स कि अब बंदे को नहीं छोड़ना पड़ेगा इमरजेंसी कॉल को. टेक्नोलॉजी कॉल्स बैक एंड सेज इज दिस इमरजेंसी, प्रेस 1, इफ इट्स नॉट प्रेस 8. सो ये चीज़ें जो अभी फेज़ 1 में डिप्लॉय हो चुकी हैं, उससे अगर आप देखेंगे हमारा बोर्ड आज, देयर इज़ नो कॉल वेटिंग. सो दैट इज़ अ वेरी बिग डील, दैट इज़ अ ह्यूज विन एंड सक्सेस कि कम्युनिटी के लिए ये चीज़ें आर मेकिंग अस रीच यू इन अ मच फास्टर एंड बेटर वे. फेज़ 2, फेज़ 3 इसके बाद और चीज़ें भी लेके आएगा, एंड वो हमारे डेप्यूटी चीफ जो एंथनी एडवर्डी हैं एंड आर चीफ निशान दुरियापा, उनकी लीडरशिप के अंदर ऑल दीज चीज़ें डिप्लॉय हो रही हैं. एंड मैं इतना ज़रूर बोलूँगी कि कनाडा में वे द फर्स्ट पील पुलिस इज़ द फर्स्ट टू डिप्लॉय दिस इन आवर कॉल सेंटर. सो थैंक यू सो मच for all the support Prime Asia gives us, and we really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Sandy, what is your role in the 911 center, and tell us about how the new technology, which is new generation 911, will change the operations of 911?
Yes, absolutely. Next generation 911 is really an entire, change in the way that we take our 911 calls now. Think of the old telephone systems, right? There's cables underneath the phones and there's wires. With next generation 911, everything is now fiber. So it's all going through IP lines, but a dedicated network for just 911 and emergencies only. So with that, we can leverage lots of different technology now. We're able to do automatic abandoned callbacks. So what that means is, instead of calling back 15,000 people a month who have hung up the phone on 911, we get a lot of pocket dials here in the region of Peel. We can now use NG911 to leverage technology that allows us to call back the caller with technology and allows them to get back into our system if they need to. So our call takers don't have to spend time manually calling these people back. We can leverage the technology to do that.
Sandy, in 911 center, how many the workers, the communicators, this is a National Public Safety Communicators Week, and congratulations for that because they are the first responders. So how many staff work in one shift?
Yes, we have approximately 150 people that work at the Peel Police Communication Center. There's approximately 25 people dedicated to each shift. These folks are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year round. During Christmases and holidays, while everyone's with their family celebrating, these men and women are here dedicated to help support the community during their time in need. So they have a very important job that they do, and they do it extremely well.
So this new technology will reduce the call wait times for the victims, those who call 911?
Absolutely. So with the new technology, we have been able to reallocate the way that we take our calls and queue them differently, which means that when the 911 call comes into our center, we're able to quickly answer that call and get it to the right agency it needs to. So if you need ambulance and fire or police, we are able to quickly transfer that call off using the new technology by separating the queues compared to what we used to do it in the old system.
So many times when the caller calls, they don't speak English. So do we have different speaking communicators?
Absolutely. We do try to hire a diverse community of communicators here at Peel Police. Aside from that, we also have a language line service. If somebody was to call 911 and does not speak English, we can leverage a third party who offers languages in hundreds and hundreds of different language services.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so before we implemented 911, if you could think about, we were using old technology. It's almost like pulling a cable out of one piece and patching it into another to transfer calls. It wasn't that bad, but it was very close. The new technology now allows our people in here to access calls in a different way and to make sure that we access 911 calls faster versus non-emergency calls faster. So it's simply the technology that enables our people to do their jobs and do their jobs faster. But listen, can I tell you something? Before even the technology, what makes us successful here is our people, and our people have always worked just to the maximum capacity in a busy region like Peel.
So recently we had the Vesta system for answering 911 calls and non-emergency calls for service. Obviously we are a lifeline to our community. So in line with our organization's strategic plan, and we want to be more innovative, and one of the most innovative services in all of Canada, we implemented Vesta. With Vesta, it has allowed us to be more efficient when it comes to answering any calls for service for any 911 or non-emergency line. And it allows us to just be more efficient in regards to answering calls in a more timely fashion. I know our job is never easy, unfortunately, but always consistently reminding yourself that, number one, we know the news before the news happens, and we are always a lifeline to the community, and always there to assist anyone that needs any kind of assistance or needs some sort of police assistance, fire, or ambulance.
And thank you all for being here. And as Tyler mentioned, this is an important week for us because in policing, public safety, fire, paramedics, you name it, anybody who wants to access any of us has to come through here in Peel region. And this is one of the largest, not just in Canada, but in North America, but one of the busiest call centers. So the nature of this week, Telecommunications Week, National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, is for us to recognize the amazing women and men that are here. They represent to us the front line of policing. Doesn't look like they're on the curbside at emergency call, but they're literally the ones that are the gateway for us to get to somebody's house doorstep. And so it's extremely important. They also experience the things that frontline uniform members do, inclusive of occupational stress injuries and pressures. It's a very intense environment out there, which you will see, and it has its peaks. Just for your awareness, last year over 1 million calls came into here. In 2023, and of that, probably 800,000 of them are 911 calls, and so you can imagine that's probably hundreds and hundreds of 911 calls a day. So what these individuals experience, what they communicate, how they translate that, the listening skills in an extremely diverse municipality is quite tremendous. And so our hope is that you get a chance to not only just kind of over the shoulder see what's happening there, but also understand the women and men behind what makes this so successful. The second part that Tyler did mention is that because we're so busy, and many of you will know, it is not just unique to us in Peel, but the number of 911 misuse calls are tremendous. If you recall, it was a topic of not just Mayor Brown, our Police Services Board, Ms. Amita Coley is here from our Police Services Board, but the citizens at large were on hold an average of 87 seconds March a year ago today, 87 seconds on 911. Can you imagine in a life and death or needing us to wait? And 40% of the reason that happens, and maybe even over that, is pocket dials misuse. So we have invested in our people here, in our community, by adding new technology. And one of them is a federally mandated progression to NG911. Sounds kind of sci-fi-ish, but what it means is that we need to progress our infrastructure so that we can receive calls, like somebody can send a digital photo into 911 versus just a phone call, or you can use your apps. There's a lot of platforms now, Uber, you can hit 911. So we need to shift our capacity here. Part of the technology advancements, which we're thankful the provincial government sent us a grant of $3 million, I believe, Scott, last year, that was used for us to change some of our technology. So back to the call delays, 87 seconds as of now is in addition to a huge public education campaign of telling people when to use 911, when not to, watching this, getting them to stay on the line, that type of thing, has brought us down to about 11 seconds a wait, which is roughly close to, if not at par with our federal standards for NENA standards, which is our national standards for PSAPs like here. So the point being is, education, technology, and these amazing people can have a direct impact on the ability for people to see an officer, paramedic, or firefighter at their doorstep. So I do want to acknowledge that behind the scenes are a remarkable team that is here. I really hope you get to, we've never brought media or communications specialists into a comm center in a coordinated fashion. The reason is we need to obviously showcase the people doing the work this week and celebrate them, but also to tell the story here in Peel Region of things that are changing, and it's, it will save lives for sure.